What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. This is going to be a shorter video, but I thought this would be a great video to make just because some of you might be wondering, why is he running all these miles and what is he even doing it for? What's going on? What are these training videos for? It's in the title of the videos, but I just thought I'd let you know the plan and kind of the goals on where I'm going and how I'm going to do it. So, yeah, we're running the Chicago Marathon here this year, 2025, October 12th. I'm so pumped for that. That's a day before my birthday, so we're going to be partying after the fact. I'm also a Niner fan, so that game, I think we're playing the Buccaneers literally right after the marathon, so we're gonna run over to a bar and try to go watch the game as quick as we can. But yeah, so let's get into kind of what is going on and the goals and how we're gonna get there. So let's just go over my training days. We're deep into marathon training here. This is July 19th. Yeah, July 19th today. So I just got back from my long run on the Legacy Trail. I just did 15 miles today, and we are we are averaging about 70 to 75 miles per week, and that includes Monday will be 11 miles, Tuesday will be 11 miles easy. Both Monday and Tuesday being easy. Wednesday is my speed work on the track, so that averages between like 6 miles of just maybe mile repeats or 1,000 meter repeats. Thursday, 11 miles easy again. Friday, 11 miles easy, and then Saturday is our longer run day. So that's at some miles at marathon pace, and so it's a little bit of a harder effort. Now, keep in mind, um, you only really should have like one or two really hard workout days in your week, just because like I said, and I'm going to make a video about, is running easy makes you faster. Like, you should only really be having like two hard effort days in your week. Like my Wednesday is my speed work. I put so much into Wednesday. I'm running at a fast pace, not only, but I'm putting a lot into. I feel before every run, but more so on those harder effort days, because those are where I want to see where I'm at and just give a good effort, just to show it, and as well as Saturday, like running 15 miles to 17. I think it's 12 through 17 I pick from throughout Saturday, and those, it's not easy being out there that long, but also I add in my marathon pace to a couple of those miles between there. So, like I said, averaging about 70 to 75 miles per week. That's going to go into August as well. Um, and into September, the middle of September will be my tapering, where taper starts to happen. Thanks to Jeffrey Cunningham. I know he won't see this video, but I reached out to him and he gave me a great tapering plan to incorporate for the middle of September, because tapering is important too. You don't want to run yourself into the ground going into the marathon with, running 75 miles per week a week before the marathon. You're not going to peak at the right time. So tapering is very important. It hurts your ego because you're like, oh my god, I'm not running as much, and some people makes them go crazy. So I got to just stay disciplined, and that's a big thing that I've incorporated more so in this prep than other preps before. Now I want to just go into kind of where I started and how I got more into marathon training. So I ran track and cross country in high school, and after high school, I wanted something still competitive. I wasn't running in college. I only did a couple years of community college, and I decided that I just wanted something competitive outside of that. I didn't run in college, but I wanted to do marathons, and there was this training program where I used to live in Elk Grove, California. At Fleet Feet, they were doing a training program over there for the marathon that was coming up at CIM. And I was like, oh shoot, my mom probably was the one that I was like, hey, look at this one. You should do that one. I'm like, oh my god, it's a good idea. So I met some really good people that I am still keep in touch with through this day, and through that program, and I'm very grateful for that, because that kind of taught me how to train for a marathon. I've only run, like, obviously I did a mile and 800 in track, raced that competitively, and then the 3 mile for cross country, but never the marathon effort. So I did a lot. That's probably the most long runs I've done in my life, doing that marathon training at the time. And then so I trained for that, and then I went and ran the California International Marathon that year. So ran that. I was following the plan. My goal was, because I was like, oh my god, Boston's the goal. Like that's something I want to strive for. Everyone in that prep was talking about it. Like, did you get your Boston qualifier? I'm like, are you training for that? And I was like, what the heck is even your Boston qualifier? And I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna try to break 3 my first marathon. And I was training for that, and I got close. I was on pace. It's God, what is it? It's not six there. It's below six, or sorry, what is it for the 3? Yeah, you gotta get right under 3. It's 6:59, right? 6:59. So to get right under 3, and that gets you right under 3 hours. Oh my god, I'm a dummy. It's 6:50 pace for 6:50 pace to get right under 3. So I was running that all the way up to mile 20. Mile 20, I got leg cramps all up through my leg, calf cramps, and I was just cooked. I was like, bro, what in the world are even these? Because I've never even experienced the cramping like I did at mile 20, which they call it the wall. Like, obviously, if you're not hydrated properly or not fueled properly, or just it's more miles than you're used to, that happens. And I'll tell you what, I was a dummy, and I was a knucklehead, and I think I only hit one aid station in that marathon throughout the whole time, with not a good amount of fueling before. I thought a banana and maybe a bar would be good, but I had a good carbohydrates. I had some good carbs the night before, but I hit one aid station. I did not have enough fluids in my body, did not fuel properly, and it came back to bite me in the butt. And luckily, I had my friend right next to me, Noah. He's good, great guy. He stopped and rolled out my calves with me, and just stayed with me the whole way. So I was very lucky to have him, and I still finished the marathon. I think I got like 3 hours and 13 minutes still, but I was cramping throughout the last 6 miles of that race. So it was a tough one. Then I went on to run the Napa Valley Marathon, where I lived. I lived there for a year and a half, where my father lives, and I did amazing in that one. I got my Boston qualifier. I got 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 41 seconds. So I got under the 3 hour marker by 7 minutes, and good thing I did, because the qualifying for that, they put that you had to be 5 minutes faster than that year, because so many people were trying to get into that race. So luckily I was 7 minutes under, and Napa was a whole different thing. I kind of didn't follow the training plan at all. I went out and just held a fast pace throughout the whole time, and I didn't stop. There was no plan. There was no, like, I'm gonna stay at 650. I was trying to stay at 650, but I went out at 6:37 and held it the whole way. So that was kind of I probably shouldn't have happened to me, but it was great, because I got into Boston that way. And what I did when I got to Boston that next year was I tried to run the same way I ran at Napa, which was, for one, it's not the same course. Napa is a net downhill, and it has a lot of downhills actually. And Boston, you have a hilly course, and then at mile 20, obviously Heartbreak Hill, which is the hardest part of the dang race. But yeah, I was not prepared, so I went out, and I think it was the adrenaline and the how pumped up I was for my first marathon major. I went out at I think the plan was just to run 6:50 and enjoy the race. Like, I wanted to enjoy, I even had my shocks, my earbuds out of my ear, and I wanted to just enjoy the race and enjoy the moment. And I went out at 6 flat when I wanted to stay at 6:50 for 10 miles. Now, um, what a dummy that is, for one, but also, yeah. So at mile 13, I already knew what was going to be happening. I was already feeling it. I was aching. My fault, totally. I take full responsibility for it. But I finished the marathon still. That's what everyone asks me. Did you finish the marathon? I'm like, yeah, I did. But I'm gonna come back and do Boston again after all those marathon majors are finished. The goal is to complete all the 7 now marathon majors. There was 6, but they just added Sydney, Australia. So the goal is to complete all 7 of them. I did Boston this year. I'll be doing Chicago in October, and yeah, then next, the next goal is to hopefully shoot for New York. So this race in Chicago is to hopefully send me to New York with that qualifying time. Now, Chicago is a lottery system, so that is the hard part about getting into Chicago. But you need to, the time to get into Chicago is it's 2 hours and 53 minutes, which I got in Napa, but I got 2 hours 53 minutes and 41 seconds. So I'm not gonna shoot for just 6 hours, 2 hours and 53 minutes. Sorry, I'm gonna do 2 hours and 50 minutes, and if I'm feeling good enough, I'm gonna go under 2 hours and 50 minutes. So that pace is a 6:30 pace flat. Now, if I'm trying to go under 250, even more, if I'm feeling good towards the end, I'm gonna dip below that. But the goal is to stay disciplined from the start to the finish. I can't do what I did in Boston and just go crazy like an animal out with the adrenaline, because that's just gonna bite me in the butt. So the goal is just stay disciplined from the start and have boredom be my thing, because here's another thing, Jeff Cunningham, that I love what he says. Boredom is a luxury, and the alternative to boredom is fatigue, cramping, and just a bad race, right? So like, you stay bored because it's gonna feel like you're gonna go out crazy. You're gonna feel like you want to go crazy, but you got 26.2 miles of the race. So you can't be like that. So just staying bored in the beginning, and honestly, like I said, staying disciplined is the, I think, and the knowledge that I have now because of those, um, what is it now, three marathons I've done so far. I'm taking, and I think that's the key to this race, is that I have that knowledge that I've made the mistakes. Obviously, each marathon's different, so you're always going to have a tough part, but I've made the mistakes. I've I've known what I have to do, and I've stayed disciplined in this prep. And I think that's going to be the biggest strength I have taking into Chicago is, I've never used to run my long days easy. I always used to be competitive with myself, and I think it's taking the ego out of the equation and just running the miles and stacking the miles every day, and the consistency that's going to send me to Chicago. Because I'll tell you what, I'm running these hard days fast, which I should be, but the easy days easy. But they're all adding up, and it's gonna get me exactly where I want. And my coach, Brian Joka, he used to say it all the time: is you're fit enough to run the time you want. You're fit enough to run this race exactly how you want. You just got to control what's between your ears, between your two ears. It's your mind. It's literally running. Running is 90% in your head, and I would even argue even more. It's all mental. Like, just staying disciplined and following the plan from the gun on October 12th, 2025 is going to be the key. So I'm excited for that. God willing, I'll get to New York after this race if it goes perfectly, and if I get into the lottery that way, because that will be the next race, and then I will look to go to the international ones with London, Berlin, Tokyo, and Australia. But if not, things don't go to plan, we'll go do one of those international ones after Chicago and kind of go a different route. But I just trust in the process and trust in how you're doing, and I think everything's going to work out perfectly. So hopefully, but we are training so that it can be like that. It's better than just how I used to be, just throwing darts at the dartboard with your eyes closed. That's I used to just stack training days like that with no purpose and kind of no plan to how I was doing it. But I think this is like I said, going to be the strength going into Chicago. And um, I really appreciate all of you guys watching throughout the journey and kind of following along through what's going on. This YouTube channel is not going to stop after Chicago. I'm going to be making vlogs, daily content, weekly, maybe even like just on daily life. And if I can give any tips and anything running related, or just like showing you guys what's going on in my life that will entertain you guys, I'm going to keep this YouTube channel going. Obviously, documenting my other marathons I'm going to be doing, and running related, but just life as well. So I'm going to be posting multiple videos monthly, trying to get out a video each week. So that's exactly what's going to be happening. I wanted to give you guys kind of the plan and and the goal and how I want to get there. And yeah, like I said, so 6:30 will be the pace that I'll be gunning for. I'm going to be videoing the expo, the whole experience in Chicago when we get there. I'll even take a quick video before the race starts. I will be running with my phone in my little back of my pouch. But yeah, 6:30 is the pace. If we're feeling good, we're going to dip under 2 hours and 50 minutes for the end, because I used to say I have a really good kick because I turn it on, but hopefully I still have that when we get in Chicago towards the later miles. So that's the plan. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.